Hi, this is Mike from Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To, and today we're going to take a look at the Syma X5SC-1 upgraded version. Okay, so you're probably wondering, what is a X5SC-1? Well, it's a toy, a grown-up toy. This is £35 worth of entertainment value for young kids, big kids, old kids, whoever. Anyone who's ever fancied flying a helicopter, a drone, or a quadcopter, or anything like that, this is what you want to do. If you think the hobby might be for you, get one of these. They're nice and cheap, entertaining, virtually bomb-proof. You can fly this around, crash it into everything, replace bits if need be. Everything's in the box, ready to go. All you need to do is stick some batteries in, charge it up, and you can get this thing flying around in your house, or in your garden, or wherever you want to fly it. It's also got a built-in camera, which is a 720p camera, I believe. So you get quite a good picture from the camera. It's got an SD card slot in there, so you can put an SD card slot in there. Take the thing up, record some footage. You can record things like, you can see your neighbourhood from angles you've never seen before. You can examine the chimney stack on your house to make sure that all the grouting and cement's okay and all that kind of thing. Or you can just fly it around in your back garden and try and crash into stuff. Whatever you want to do, it's up to you. And again, for £35, it's a bargain. But let's stop waffling about it. Let's see what we get inside the box. So actually, just before we get too far into it, just to go through some of the things on the box. Obviously, Syma is the company that make them. X5SC is the brand. Now, if you do a search on either sort of GearBest, Amazon, Google, whatever, type in a search for X5SC, which is the newer version, and there's so many spare parts available for this thing, it's ridiculous. You can get pretty much the whole thing replaced by just buying spare parts, which are really inexpensive. So if for any reason you do damage it or break it, you can repair bits on it quite easily. It's not an expensive thing to replace or repair. So if you take it out and it gets blown away in a gust of wind and it gets trashed a little bit, it's going to cost you a couple of pounds or a couple of dollars just to repair it, and you'll be back up and running in no time. Now, talking of being up and running, the batteries which come with these last anywhere up to about 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes at max, depending if where you're flying and how aggressive you're flying. So what you can do is you can actually buy for about another 10 to 12 pounds, you can get a pack which comes with 5 batteries and a little USB charger, so you can charge up a load of these little batteries. So if you want to have a bit more flying time, get these charged up and ready, and then when you want to take it out, you can just swap over the batteries when it starts going flat. So those are quite handy. I'll put a link in the description for those as well. Well worth checking out. Anyway, back to what we get in the box and what's on the box, sorry. So it's got a head-free setup, so you don't have to worry about which rotation it is on the quadcopter. If you do it in headless mode, it'll basically left is left, right is right, no matter which angle you're looking at. So that's pretty good, especially for the novice flyer. It's got 360-degree inversion, so basically it means it can do stunts and flips. So if you're buying this for your kids and they like seeing the drones do the flips and side rolls and whatever, it can do all this. It's got 6-axis gyro in there, so it'll keep it nice and level for you when you're flying, so you don't have to be an expert. It's not going to just like go off crazy somewhere and crash. Pretty good. Runs on the 2.4 GHz Wi-Fi band, and it's got 4 channels. So that's the stuff off the box. I don't think there's anything else I've missed. It comes in 3 colours, so if you've got 3 kids, you want one for each colour. You've got the black, white and red, so you can choose whichever colour you want. I personally went for the black, just making sure it is the black one. Let's see. Instruction manual, so you can go through, it tells you how to put it all together, where the batteries go, how to adjust the trims on the controllers, etc., how to fly it, how to view the footage, etc., etc. And on the back is a really important thing, which is the spare parts and how to take it all apart and what the spare parts are called, and etc., etc. So it's all good. Now, it does say on there ages 12 up. Obviously, if you're an experienced RC person, you can probably use it younger than that, but they recommend ages 12 up. So if you're a really small kid and you've never used radio controlled stuff before, then you maybe want to look at some other sort of cheaper toy or something. Anyway, let's have a look, see what we get. He says chucking stuff around. So first of all, you got the controller, which is your kind of usual deal controller. You've got your sort of speed up and down, or sort of up and down, left and right for twisting and turning. Basically, yeah, dual stick controls, and you've got trim buttons there. And one of these actually turns on the video camera and or takes a snapshot, depending on what you want to do. On the top, you've got a couple of extra buttons. One of them, I believe, is for doing stunts, so flips and stuff. The other one, I think, is for landing or headless mode, but like I say, you can check out in the instructions. This bit on the bottom is just an imprint. It doesn't do anything at all, just looks cooler than it actually is. And on the bottom there, it gives you a digital readout of where your trim settings are when it's on. So let's stick some batteries in a minute. Right, so we've got some batteries in there now, so if I turn it on, there we go, you can see it lights up, and I'm not sure if you can make it out, but the LCD on the bottom lights up a little bit, and it gives you an idea of what your trims are doing, and gives you feedback of where the throttle is, etc. You can probably see that a little bit better now. So you may or may not be able to see anything on that display, but I'll take some close-up pictures later, so hopefully they'll be visible around here somewhere, or there'll be some artsy shots where you can see it scanning across. Anyway, I digress. Right, what else do we get in the box? So that is the camera module. So with the camera, it comes separately, it plugs in. So if you actually want more runtime, but you don't want to use a camera, you can actually leave that disconnected, and that will then give you more runtime. You've got an SD card in the back, SD card slot, and you can put in there pretty much any size card you want, I believe. I think it comes with a 4 gig one, but I'm going to put an 8 gig in there just to give it a bit more recording space, time, quality, whatever, all of the above. So that's the camera. That's the drone itself. So you've got 4 rotors. And this model comes with the uprated motors. I think the previous model come with like 3mm or 4mm motors. This has got 5mm, or it's basically 1mm bigger motors all round, so it gives it a little bit more torque. So on the bottom there, you've got your on-off switch and connections for the camera. You've also got LEDs, so green and red, so you can see which direction you're traveling, and also they light up at night and it looks pretty cool. Also on the bottom there, you've got the connections of where the legs go, so the landing legs, and also on the rotors, there's a bit where you can put a protector bar, which are in here somewhere. So you've got 4 protector bars, so they go on the end here, you screw them on, and then that will protect your rotors from smashing. So they're useful. And there's the landing legs, which just go on there and screw in. So when it lands, it will land on something other than the battery or the camera. What else do we get in here? So also in the box is a charger for, I guess that is for, oh, let's put it in there. So that's the charger, sorry, that's the 4-way charger for the other thing I bought. So that's the charger for the 4-way battery, or 5-way. Is it 4 or 5? 4. Confusing myself now. Basically, that's the charger for the extra batteries I've got. That doesn't come in this kit, but it's a very, very useful add-on. I took this out earlier and put it back away, so there we go. That is the charger, the USB charger for the normal battery that comes with the kit. And that is the USB 4-way charger for charging 4 batteries at once. So you don't get that with it, you get that with it, but that's definitely worth investing in. And this charger just plugs into USB, and you connect up the battery like so, and the light comes on if there's any battery power, and it turns off when the battery is charged. A little bit flimsy, so probably is worth getting the extra charger just to be on the safe side, but okay, for £35, it's not the end of the world. If anything breaks, it's easily all replaceable. So we're going to pause there, and we're going to stick all this together, and then we'll be right back. Okay, despite what I said, I'm going to actually put these together now. I'm going to do it the long way, just so you can see how it all goes together. Now, I have actually damaged that already, so that's a little bit broken, but don't worry about that. But I just thought I'd lay out what you get, so you can see what you get. So you get, although you get 4 rotors already on the unit already, they actually supply you with an additional 4 rotors, as you can see. So if you break any of these, you've got 4 spares straight out of the box, which is a really great thing. You also get this, which is a micro USB card reader. So the footage that you take from the camera here, you can take the camera card out, put it in there, stick it into a PC or a laptop or whatever it is you choose, and you can review your footage and either save it, upload it, do whatever you want with. Also, quite nicely, you get a very bright screwdriver in the box, and that is for attaching the legs and the rotors, etc. So as far as I can tell, pretty much every single thing on this drone, quadcopter, whatever you want to call it, is done with a small Phillips or crosshead screw. So that should be able to take apart pretty much everything that's here. So let's stick some of the legs on first, and let's see how we get on. So the legs got 2 little pins on there, and there's a little cross-headed screw which is already in there. So we'll put those on. There's little retaining holes which the plastic bits go in. So they fit in pretty nicely, and we'll just do the screws up. If you can pick that up. And just tighten the screws up. Don't over tighten them. Again, this is a cheap, essentially is a toy. So the plastic isn't going to be the strongest, although saying that, although it is quite cheap, it doesn't feel that brittle. It's got quite a bit of flex to it. I noticed the legs, there's quite a bit of elasticity to it. Elasticity? They flex basically. So with plastics, flexing is generally a good thing if it's going to be a bit rough and tumble, because it means it's not going to shatter or smash up too easily. So I think that's the legs all attached. So if you want to reduce the weight of the drone, you can fly it straight off like that. Obviously you're risking damaging your rotors if you fly into anything. So if you're a beginner, you're probably going to want to go ahead and put these on, which are the rotor guards. So I'm going to go ahead now and put these on. These are a little bit more tricky because the rotors kind of get in the way a little bit. But again, it's just, you can probably make it out there. There's 2 kind of lugs or pins, I suppose you'd call them, which slot in, and then there's a screw on the top which just screw in. So again, it's not the strongest plastic, so don't over tighten it, otherwise you probably will strip the threads. It's easy for me to say. Now I'm thinking about this now, this is an unboxing and it should be a little bit of a review as well, but obviously I can't really review it because I haven't had a great deal of experience of flying these things. So I know it's probably a bad idea, being this is a very small room, which is probably about 12 foot by 12 foot, if that. But once this is put together, maybe we'll try flying it and see if we can show you what it's like without breaking stuff. And we'll see if we can get some footage of it maybe flying around the house. I'm not going outside because it's pitch black out there, and if this thing goes off on its own merry way, there's no way on earth I'm going to find it. And it's raining because it's England and it always rains here. Not as much as in Wales, but quite a lot. Okay, so that is the rotor guards and the landing legs on. So now what we'll do is attach the camera. So this just slides in by the look of it. There we go, nice reassuring click to let you know it's installed. And then this little cable plugs into the receptacle there. So let's get that plugged in. Okay, so that's all plugged in. So let's stick a battery in. Now the battery goes in the back here, in the butt of the plane. And there's a little plastic flap there which opens. And you've got a red and black connector. So get the battery, let's go for battery number 1, which should have a bit of charge in it. And we'll connect it up. Obviously before you do this, make sure it's turned off. Yep, it's off. Now currently there are cats in the room with us at Mike's unboxing. Let's see how long they will be when this thing gets going. So there we go, the battery goes inside the butt of the plane. And if we turn that on, we get some flashing lights to say it's on, but they flash when it's not connected to the controller. So let's get the controller turned on, and there we go, we got our steady lights. So now you have to, with the controller, go down and then back up again. Okay, so let's see if we can, oh actually I know what the other button's for on here. It's for the rates. So you've got a low rate and a high rate. So let's stick it into low rate and see if we can get this thing to take off. I better stand back. Right, that wants to go back a little bit, so. Okay, maybe it's not quite such a good idea in here, but you get the general idea. So, this is Mike's unboxing reviews and how to. That's the slightly dead Syma X5SC-1. And we'll catch you again in the next video. Thanks for watching.